I don't know when it started. Not exactly. Looking back, I can see the signs now, the subtle cracks in my marriage, like ice breaking underfoot. But I was too busy, too trusting, too blind to notice. I thought I was doing everything right. Providing, protecting, building a future. That's what a husband does, right? For 5 years, I worked overtime, sacrificed weekends, and saved for a better life. I believed Emily, my wife, saw me as a partner, someone worth standing beside. I was wrong. Emily never saw me as a husband. Not really. She saw me as useful, a provider, someone to bear the weight of responsibility while she lived as she pleased. And the worst part? I let her. I let her spend my hard-earned money, convinced myself that putting her name on my accounts was about trust. I let her smile at me, tell me she loved me, all while her heart belonged somewhere else. At first, it was small things, little jabs about how I worked too much but still wasn't ambitious enough. Comparisons to her friends' husbands, men, with inherited wealth and status. A constant craving for more, as if what I gave her was never enough. I thought it was normal. Every marriage has its struggles. But then, the secret started. Late-night texts, frequent girls' nights, growing distance. She stopped asking about my day, stopped noticing the long hours I put in. Slowly, I became a stranger in my own home. Then everything changed. One Friday evening, I pulled into the driveway, exhausted. There it was, a sleek black sports car parked outside. My heart lifted. Had Emily bought me a car? I'd been driving the same old sedan for years, saving for a bigger house. Maybe this was her way of showing she appreciated me. I walked in, hopeful. The scent of expensive cologne hit me first, not mine. Then, laughter. His laughter. Emily was on the couch with a man I didn't recognize, wine glass in hand. My stomach twisted. She looked up, smiling. "Oh, hey, babe. You're home early." Her tone was casual, too casual. No guilt, no shame, like I was an afterthought. The man beside her, mid-30s, dressed in designer everything, didn't even stand. Just smirked. Then Emily did something I'll never forget. She grabbed the car keys, his keys, and handed them to him. "Here you go, babe," she said, kissing his cheek. I couldn't breathe. Before I could speak, she tossed something at me, a box of cleaning supplies. "Here," she said with a wink. "Time for you to help around the house." And the bastard laughed. I didn't explode. I didn't yell. I just stood there, feeling the icy rage in my veins. I packed a suitcase in silence, clothes, laptop, important documents. Emily didn't stop me. She didn't beg or apologize. She didn't even ask where I was going. In her mind, I was disposable. As I walked out, she leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "Wow," she said, smirking. "You're really leaving?" I didn't answer. She chuckled. "Don't be so dramatic." Dramatic. She handed her lover a brand new car and tossed me sponges. And I was the one being dramatic? I didn't look back. I didn't have a plan. Just the burning need to be far away. For the first time in years, I wasn't fighting for Emily's love or breaking myself to be enough. I was free. Hours later, sitting on a park bench, my phone buzzed. A text from Jake, my closest friend. "Where are you? Emily's been calling me." I frowned. "Why?" Jake's response was simple. "She's panicking." It hit me then. Emily hadn't expected me to walk away. She thought I'd beg, plead, fight for her. But I didn't. I left her with her car, her lover, and her empty house. And that silence, that scared her more than anything. Somehow I was the one being dramatic. I pushed past her without a word, my grip tightening on the suitcase handle. She didn't move, didn't try to stop me. Instead, she just sighed. like this was all an inconvenience for her. "You'll be back," she said casually, like it was a fact. I paused at the top of the stairs but didn't turn around. She took my silence as an invitation to keep going. "You always come back," she continued, tilting her head. "That's who you are, Oliver. The guy who cleans up after everyone else, the responsible one, the one who takes care of things. It's cute, really. But we both know you won't last out there on your own." That was the moment the anger hit. Not just anger, but disgust. She had never seen me as a man, as a partner. She saw me as useful, a fallback, a safety net. I turned to face her then, looking her straight in the eyes, not to reason with her, not to make her see my worth. I was just done. "I hope he was worth it," I said, my voice calm. Her smile faltered. Before she could respond, I walked, down the stairs and out the front door. The night air was cold, but I barely felt it. My mind raced through everything. The way Emily had laughed, the way Daniel had grinned, the way my marriage collapsed in minutes. But mostly I kept thinking about how she truly believed I would always be there. She was right, until now. As I walked down the driveway, I heard the door open behind me. I didn't stop. "Where are you even going to go, Oliver?" Her voice was lighter now, almost teasing. "You really think you can do better than me? You think some other woman's going to want a guy like you?" I gritted my teeth. She wanted me angry, wanted a fight so she could twist the story in her favor. I didn't give her the satisfaction, I just kept walking. Then she said it. "You'll regret this." That's when I stopped. I glanced back over my shoulder. "No," I said steadily, "you will." And then I left. That night. I didn't go far. Ended up at a small motel on the edge of town. The kind of place I'd driven past 100 times and never noticed. The receptionist didn't ask questions, just took my card, handed me a key, and pointed down the hall. The room was small and plain, nothing like the house I'd worked so hard to maintain. But for the first time in years, it felt like mine. I sat on the edge of the bed staring at my phone, dozens of missed calls. Some from Jake, a few from mutual friends, but most from Emily. At first, the messages were casual. "Oliver, where are you?" "You're being ridiculous." "Are you seriously ignoring me?" Then the tone shifted. "You need to come back so we can talk about this. You're overreacting." "Fine, do whatever you want. See if I care." And finally, just one last message. "You'll regret this." I turned off my phone. She wasn't sorry. She didn't care that she betrayed me. She just didn't like losing control. But this wasn't her game anymore. She made her choice. Now, I was making mine. For years, I cleaned up her messes. I paid the bills, handled the stress, kept everything running smoothly so she wouldn't have to. Now, she was about to learn what life without me really looked like. At first, she didn't panic. She convinced herself I'd be back, that I was teaching her a lesson, that I'd crawl back once I cooled off. She wanted me to miss her, to sit alone in a dingy motel, drowning in regret. But the truth? I'd never felt more at peace. 3 days in, I got a text from the bank. "Your mortgage payment is due in 3 days. Balance, $2,450. I smirked. Reality was about to hit. I had removed myself from all our joint accounts. Mortgage, utilities, credit cards, car payments. Everything was in her name now. She always thought money just worked, like bills paid themselves. The next day, the first text came. "Hey, so the mortgage is due. I don't see the auto pay. Did something change?" I didn't respond. By the end of the week, the texts were more frantic. "We need to talk about the bills. Call me." "I just got a late fee notice for the credit card." "What's going on?" "The electricity bill wasn't paid. They're sending a disconnection notice. Can you just pay it and we'll figure this out later?" She still didn't get it. She thought I'd fix it. Again. Then the calls started. At first, I let them go to voicemail, but one night I answered. Her voice was shaky. "Oliver, thank God. We need to talk." I leaned back on the motel bed, letting the silence stretch. "What's wrong, Emily?" I finally asked. Calm. "Don't act like you don't know," she snapped.